Recap, this is the question for the example 1, right? So do take note of the variables given, alright? And just in case that you don't understand how we get 14.75 horsepower in this case, 1 horsepower is actually equal to 0.746 kilowatt conversion factor. So 11 kilowatt converted to horsepower, you divide by 0.746, you will get about 14.7. Okay, this is how we obtain 14.75 horsepower to get the service factor, right? Do take note that the 14.75, the design power will be used, right? We have done the design power. We have select the B belt section. In this case is a B section. So now this video we will talk about determine the speed ratio and select the standard pulley diameter, that is the pitch diameter in this case. Alright, we will actually then calculate the actual output speed must be within the tolerance of the output RPM. Determine standard pulley diameter. Right, can you go to A1-4 of your appendix, page page A1-4. Okay, if you're at A1-4, on the left hand side you will see this chart talking about pulley pitch and outside diameter recommendation. On the right is another type of chart. We will ignore it first. So if you go to A1-4, this left hand side, you look at this chart, there will be a pitch diameter column, and there will be outside diameter, which further subdivided by A, B, C, D alphabet. So what do these alphabet refer to? Anybody? Make a guess. The answer is the belt section. Alright, so earlier part we determined that this question required B section, so we will use B in this case. Okay, so anything available here will be B, the rest we ignore. But if the questions subsequent question may need you to use section A, C or D, then that you will use in the equal column so in this case we just pay attention in this B. Right, so you see the pitch diameter, there will be 65, 70, 75, 80. If you do a recap, pitch diameter is definitely smaller than the outside diameter, slightly, right? So in this case, if your pitch diameter is 65, your outside diameter is 71.4, and that's only section A section belt available. Alright, so that means, in other words, if you want to use a B belt section, there's no way you can have a 65 pitch diameter, okay? Because it's stated here, all these data are given by the manufacturer. Alright, so is a very good example I can give you would be iPhone. Okay, I use iPhone as an example. If you want to buy an iPhone 11 or iPhone 12, and you go to the Apple store, you tell them you want to buy an iPhone 12, let's say 16 gig. I don't think they will have that model for you because there's no 16 gig available. Same thing goes to that. So this is one example I can use. Alright, so if you want to have a 68 pitch diameter, then also you can't. So you have to determine which is the best option you will use from the given available dimension. So now let's move to calculate and to determine the standard pulley diameter. In this case, we need to know the speed ratio. So you go to your appendix A1-1, is equation 1-1 at page A1-1. Okay, then you will see the speed ratio SR. SR refer to speed ratio and is the RPM of faster shaft divided by RPM of slower shaft, and is also equal to the big D over small d, where big D refer to pitch circle diameter, okay, of the bigger sleeve, and a D, which is a pitch circle diameter of a smaller slip. So do take note that it's pitch circle diameter in this case as shown here. It's not the outside diameter. Okay, the calculation, we are very interested in the pitch circle diameter. So given to that formula, substitute in the speed ratio 1440 divided by 725 will give you 1.99. That's the speed ratio. So from A1-4, we will select a standard pulley. How do we select? So pitch diameter of a larger pulley. If you refer to your question, it says that the outside diameter should not be greater than 250. Right? Is it correct? You can refer back to your notes example. Okay. So the example question stated that the larger pulley outside diameter should not be more than 250. So let's go to B, outside diameter. B, we look at it. So we will have a range from 123.8 to 248.8 outside diameter. In this case, 248.8 is actually lesser than 250, and we can choose that 240. Sorry, we can choose 248.8, and the pitch diameter is 240 in this case. Okay, I say again, the question stated that the larger diameter of the pulley, outside diameter of the pulley, should not be more than 250. That means it should be less. So actually, in fact, you can also use 228. You also can use 208. Okay, as long as you fulfill the speed ratio. Then again, you also have to fulfill the speed limit. Okay, so it's stated here, outside diameter no more than 250. So, but to make ease of the example, we choose the first available diameter. That means the closest to 250. Okay, so 248, we choose 240. So your pitch diameter is 240. Pitch diameter, okay, of larger pulley D is 240. So from there you can see, I have my speed ratio, I have my RPM of the shaft, RPM of the slower shaft, faster shaft, and also the big D. So now I need to find my small d. So to use my small d, I can use the speed ratio is equal to big D over small d. So to determine my d, I use the pitch diameter again. Look at it, I use the pitch diameter 240. Okay, after I determine my larger pulley pitch diameter, I can discard away the outside diameter. So you don't need the outside diameter. What you need to do is always refer and use the pitch diameter. So d, small d is equal to 240 divided by 1.99. Okay, how do I use achieve this? Will be this formula. SR is equal to big D over small d. So in this case, to determine my smaller pulley, so I get 240 divided by 1.99. I should have a pitch diameter of a smaller pulley at 120.6. Of course, there's no 0.6. So 120.6, I go to the pitch diameter. Regardless of that, I look for 120.6. So the closest will be 120. Yes? And to double confirm that is it available for section B belt, this pulley? Yes, it does available because there's 128.8 outside diameter. So this indicate that there's available on the market to purchase a B section V belt 120 pitch diameter pulley. Okay, so I determine 240 and 120 as my pulley pitch diameter. Then the next step is very important. Let's go to the next slide. We need to check the output speed limit. Okay, let's go to the next slide. So after selecting the standard pulley available, the pitch diameter, so the actual output speed must be within the design limit or the given data. So in this case, speed ratio is equal to input speed over output speed, which is the faster, in this case would be the faster RPM divided by slower RPM is equal to D over D, big D over small d, sorry. Alright, which is the bigger pulley divided by smaller pulley diameter. So I need to find my output speed based on the selected pitch diameter. So actual output speed is equal to D times input speed divided by big diameter pulley. So 120, the one I selected, 120 multiplied by 1440 divided by 240. In this case, my output speed is 720. So is it within the limit? What you can do is the question given to us is 725 plus minus 1%, the output speed. So if you sorry, if you were to multiply the 1% of 725, you will get a range of 717.75 to 732.25, and 720 fall in between the range. So your selection of 240 and 120 pitch diameter pulley is acceptable. All right. So we have concluded the pulley sizing. All right, 240 and 120 pitch diameter pulley. Right. So we have completed that. So the next slides or videos we will talk about will be determine the belt pitch length and also your center distance, actual center distance. Okay.